Hi, in this video we're going to show you how to bake a whole Tunworth cheese. Tunworth is a Camembert style cheese, except it's made in Hampshire here in England and not in Normandy in France. And I bake it in exactly the same way I would a Camembert cheese. So if you have a Camembert cheese, you can bake that in exactly the same way you would this cheese. There are many ways you can enjoy Tunworth cheese, and Camembert for that matter. It certainly doesn't have to be baked. It can be served as it is as part of a cheese board. But baking it is my favourite way of enjoying it. It's essentially fondue in a box. If you haven't tried the Tunworth cheese, you should. It has a long-lasting sweet nutty flavour and a creamy texture with a thin wrinkled rind. Now you can bake this cheese as it is, but we're going to slash some holes in the top and add some flavours. I love garlic, so I'm going to add some of that, and a drizzle of honey, which just adds a little sweetness. You can also add a little rosemary or thyme. So to begin with, I'm going to crush, peel and chop a clove of garlic. I'm going to chop the garlic quite coarsely. It's easier to stab into the cheese, and I love garlic, but if you're serving it for other people or not such a fan, fine slivers would probably be better. Once the garlic's chopped, it's simply a matter of piercing roughly equal distance holes in the top of the cheese so you can insert the garlic. I'm then going to drizzle over some honey, which just gives it a little extra sweetness. Then, before I put it in the oven, I'm just going to wrap some aluminium foil around the base of the box. It just helps the cheese remain confined if it splits during baking. I then pop it on a baking sheet and into a 200 degrees centigrade preheated oven. Now baking times are going to vary a little. Ideally the cheese would be at room temperature before you began. If it's refrigerated, it will take a little longer. If the cheese is at room temperature, it's going to take 10 to 15 minutes in a domestic oven. If it's refrigerated, it's more likely to take 15 to 20 minutes. Once it's baked and you break through the crust, it should be nice, soft and creamy inside, just like fondue. And you can enjoy it in the same way you would fondue, dipping in your favourite bread or often potatoes. So if you take it out of the oven and it's gloopy, lumpy and elastic, pop it back in for a little while longer. And don't forget, the tradition with fondue is that if the man loses his bread in the cheese, he buys drinks all round, and if the woman does, she must kiss her neighbours at the table. And unless you're sharing it with your partner, no double dipping. Each piece of bread or potato should only be put in the cheese once, and if you're using dipping forks, then they should be used to transport the food from the pot to your plate, not to eat from. That will just ensure that you're only sharing the cheese and not each other's saliva. This cheese was straight from the shop, so it was still refrigerated. We've baked it for around 20 minutes, and as you can see, it's got a nice creamy consistency and is warm all the way through. So if you've baked one of these, let everyone know in the comments below what temperature and time you found successful, and whether you're in a commercial or a domestic oven. If you found this video useful, please click the like button, and if you haven't already and would like to see more videos, the subscribe button.